From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Wakers, pearls, and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance, it was resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. To form the Venus Nightly, never free from the deck. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they try to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon word, every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. To reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan, now there's crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tent that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined. Where was next? Temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right, this is and you are Under the Groove. Here I am, and there you are. Man, everyone, come on in, man. Tap in. Let's get it going. Let's do what we do. I want to say, hey, you made it. It's Friday. You know, living for the weekend, huh? So here we are, another Friday. Time seems to just be flying by. Flying, man. You look up, man, 1 minute is Monday. The next is Friday. You be like, okay, where did the damn time go? Where did them other 4 days go? Where did hey, all right? That's to get down anyway. But hey, man, peace and prosperity, everybody. Want to welcome everybody in. It's good to be here as always, doing what we do. We touching bases with the people. That's what we do. All right, I see you, Antonio. I see you. Peace and prosperity, you and the fam, bro. Yeah, man, here we are, Friday. A lot, you know, we say this often enough. It's almost redundant. A lot is going on. It just is. You know what I mean? It just is. And it's not by mistake that we see as much shit taking place as we do. I think the more shit is occurring, you know, and some of it being sensational or whatever, the more we tend to become distracted, man, in terms of what's really going on in our lives as individuals and as people. You know, all this shit is on purpose, man. So don't be like, or don't think like, all right, man, oh, this, you know, this is an anomaly. Nah, this shit is happening, man, for a reason. This shit with these, you know, these Buddha heads, man, I think that's some real shit. So much so to, I don't know, man. I just think, man, here's our opportunity as a people to get this shit up and running, to get to where we're supposed to be as a people. This is one of our opportunities. We get rid of what I think they call it the model minority myth. You know what I mean? That, you know, it's some crazy shit, but I got it. I want to show y'all the clip, man, in terms of how these people work. You know, this thing has been going on, what, more than a week now? They're coming out the woodwork. You know, they're pleading in bed and they're doing everything they know they need to do, or in hopes. They're doing these things in hopes that we'll change our mind. We'll feel sorry for them, you know? And I know enough to know, hey, man, black people ain't that damn simple. You know what I mean? Yeah, we, you know, sometimes we do, though. We forget real quick. But this is one of them instances, I think, though, is not going to go away no time fast. In fact, you know, a lot of us would like to think that, or we want to push that it goes, man, and it goes and it goes and it goes until they're gone. you know. But a lot of them are coming out the woodwork saying, hey, man, no, that's not everybody. That's not, Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And again, for a lot of us who understand that it is, we know who or not, or who is not a part of that get down because we see them. You know, they own the front lines for the people before shit even happened. You know, they don't just rub elbows with us. They think they us. You know what I mean? That's you know how deep some of them are in terms of how they think and how they see themselves, how they relate to us. Very few and far between though, you know. Now, what we're seeing is a lot of these Asians coming out, and these are the business people. You know, they're coming out as though, oh man, how dare Rick Child do that with No, man. It's more like how dare y'all boycott us? Y'all fucking with our livelihood, you know. So, you know, they're thinking in terms of getting us to come back through them doorways and spend our dollars. They see how important they really are now. You know, I wonder what happened to that one Asian dude that had all that shit to say about us needing them, you know, or we wouldn't survive without him. You know, we wouldn't know what to do. You know, I wonder where he is. I haven't seen him since he made that little post. And if anybody's seen something new since then, let me know. I need to go check that out, man. Okay. Yeah, right quick though. And I see you again, Antonio, and salute to you as well, bro. All right, B60. I see you in the house. He beat you today, though. Antonio beat you, man. Front and center. Anyway, what it do, B60? He say, greetings, man. Salutations to you, bub, and RGC B1 Black First. Appreciate you, bro. Peace and prosperity to you and your fam as well. All right, our queen sister is in the house. Lisa Moore say, Grand Rising, brother Bub. Blessings to you and the family. Peace and love to the kings and queens in the RGC. Black B1 Black First. All right, that's what it is. Shit, I think I'm going to turn on the fan in this mug, man. It's hot as hell out here today. But anyway, yeah, man, here we are. You know, got us another day, you know, under our belts. It's almost over. Tick, tick. I got some clips. I want to jump into them. I got like 4 of them. And maybe 2 of them about 3 minutes long. So, yeah, I don't like to do very long clips because it takes from us, you know, chopping it up and doing what we're doing, you know. So I want to drop in. Well, I'm gonna wait another 5 minutes before I do that. But back to the situation, man, with these people. And not only that, but we see now the Mexicans are coming out the woodwork again. You know, sad, but it is what it is. You know, we ain't let's not lose no sleep on it or pay too much attention to it because, like I say, distractions come in all shapes, forms, and fashions. You know, anytime we see people coming at us, man, they trying to knock us off our spot, man. They're trying to knock us off our block, man, off our spot, you know, or the square we on. And they need for us to pay attention to what they're saying. And if we do, they feel like, we got them, you know. So we always suggest, man, ignore them. We know what the mission is. You know, it ain't listening to them. It's not about listening to them. You know, that thing it has to do with us, you know, doing what we supposed to do, getting this shit done, man. Getting it done. I wonder what them dollars gonna go to, man. If we just a little more together, we had a little more together, we can have a plan, man. By the end of the year, what to do with a lot of these dollars. Every community, man, have an understanding, man, of how we go and put them dollars to work for the people. But I figure we'll get to that. In due time, we'll get to that. Right now, we got to show some people. Well, we got to do what we supposed to do. We ain't got to show nobody nothing. We let our actions speak for us. You know, actions are always louder than words, man. All right, Rakufu, you're early. What it do, loved one? You say we holding this boycott down, man. Keep the course, family. Hey, I'm telling you, again, man, it's going to sound redundant, but I think the longer this thing goes, the more pride or we should have, or we should become a little more dignified about how we go about doing shit because we're seeing we're capable, man. We're way more capable than they know, you know. So yeah, every day, man, it's my smile becomes bigger and bigger when I realize it's spreading further and further. You know, we're not playing, man. We're not playing. That's a good look. You're going to say, man, our predecessors and ancestors would be proud, not just of the generation, but of this moment. You know, we ain't got we got some balls about ourselves. Good luck. Good luck. But I tell you, it's just a start. You know that. Y'all should know that better than most. This is just a start, man. This is just the start. There's more to come. Trust. Trust. I'm telling y'all, man, shit gonna start coming out the woodwork. And initially, we're gonna be shot just based upon who gonna be coming out the woodwork in support of them people. It's coming. So, like I said, this is just a start, man. So, it's good to be, have some pride about this whole situation and whatnot. But at the same time, let's be mindful that this battle has just started. This battle has just begun. All right. So hopefully everybody's prepared. You know what they say, stay ready. You don't have to get ready. And in fact, that's one of the videos I'm gonna drop today. Our brother Renaissance Man 2050, man. He be going in. I like him. No nonsense type of brother. Spitting truth to power, man. All right, Queen and Zinga, how you doing? Happy Friday, kings and queens. As we close out another work week, remember that our strength is in our unity, our faith, and our commitment to one another. Be one equals black first. Man, you said that so well, so eloquently. Very eloquent with your verbiage, girl. You know how to talk. Rakufu said, man, word for the day is vanquishment. Okay? Vanquishment. All right? And vanquishment means complete victory through defeating an opponent. And again, like I say, y'all, this thing just starting. And in their minds, they want to vanquish us. They think they're going to win. I'm telling you. They think they're going to win. The sentence in terms of vanquishment is their vanquishment secured lasting peace and financial security. Let me add to that. Yeah. Appreciate you, Ra. Real spit, man. Yeah. Let's jump in here, man, because I'm kind of anxious. I know it's Friday, and here's my thought processes to start with. I said it's Friday, man, and I don't know what the people want to do today, but it's Friday. And, sometimes we decide, we might want to have other plans. I said, okay, initially I wasn't going to come today. I said, no, I did that earlier in the week. So let me go in today and we're going to get out with this get down, and depending on how this flow go will determine if we even go past it. You know what I mean? Past 8:30 or whatever, but just the fact that I knew that I wanted to be here. And, my thought was, maybe the brothers and sisters also will want to show up just for a minute at least before they started, their weekend. So here we are. And again, I appreciate being here. All right. He say facts, bud. Real spit. Real spit. Their vanquishment secured lasting peace and financial independence, stability, a whole lot of other shit, But yeah, let me get to this first clip because, like I said, it's tight. It's tight. I try to go and get the best of the best. Always some gems, man. Okay, now this is regarding what I'm saying to you guys in terms of them people. And when I use terms, I'm not being disparaging. I'm not being disrespectful. It's just part of it's part of a culture I come from when we use terms like Buddha head and shit like that. It's not, we don't see it, as disrespect. If I ever got word from somebody say, man, I'm whoop, and I think that's disrespect, I would consider, using a different term or something that's, not offensive to them. But that's something we grew up using all through the penal system, and being incarcerated. Buddha head, what I mean? So again, if there's something that's derogatory or, disparaging, disrespectful, somebody let me know, man. We never saw it like that. Be quite honest. Yeah, we never referenced that, to them. You know what I mean? So yeah, we never, you know what I mean? And, in the joint, we hung around some, want to shoot, basketball, try to figure out how to get a little swag, want to hang with the brothers every now and then. So yeah, we never say, man, what you Buddha heads want, wasn't nothing like that. So yeah, that very well may be. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll say Asians. I'll clean it up, man. I'll say Asians. All right. But they're coming out the woodwork, man. And I'm telling you, that's not going to work. That ploy is not going to work. I'm pretty sure of it. So I think that their next move will be some of our politicians, and when they don't work, because, they should have enough sense to know that they can't come to the people and say jack squat anyway. Our politicians, they've already failed us, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are sitting up thinking, nah, I don't want to get in that because, I have elections coming. They already probably pissed at me. So, hey, y'all can handle it. Go get so-and-so, Yeah, so that may not work for them, right? That may not work for them. Hold on, let me get this back. So then I think the next step or their next approach in terms of somebody trying to come and speak to us and say, man, give them a break, would be a so-called celebrity or entertainer. It's coming. Trust me. It's coming. And when the black politicians don't stand up and speak for them, you will have white liberals and or Democrats trying to speak for them. And I'm telling y'all, man, for anybody that want to take up for them, just based on what we know, man, then that means, man, they ain't no good. They know better than them. And this shit is not new. So this is overdue. What we're doing is overdue as a people. All right, hold on. Rakufu said, man, African Americans stay the course, stand with purpose, strength, and force. Withdraw the dollar, raise your voice, demand respect through disciplined choice. All right, man. And I love them poetry moments, homie. Real spit. All right, Poke, I see you, loved one. I see you, loved one. You say blessings to our queens first today. And of course, Black excellency is a real thing, bub. Be proud of what you're building here at UTG and the RGC. Two heads are better than one, and our culture and power, when together, is unstoppable. Can't contain it. Can't contain it. And I appreciate that, Poke, but I appreciate more the fact that we have built and we have begun to, create something, man, that we all should take pride in, Like I say, man, this is us. This is what we do. This is what we do. And I'm pretty sure for the majority of us in here, man, we look to bring others. You know what I mean? We look to bring others. This is something we don't see a lot of our brothers doing, especially in LA, who have platforms or channels. Be nice. That would be nice, man, right? That's when things are changing. Imagine that, right? Come on, man. Come on. Shit. Yeah, but I appreciate that, Pope. Real talk, bro. All right, let me drop this clip, man, because I find it interesting. And so should you guys, man. Just pay attention, though, because there's some dialogue. There's something I want to say as a result of that, as a result of this clip. Hold on. A little too much sunlight, man. A little too much sunlight. Like this thing. There we go. All right, so let's drop this. Boom. Pay attention.
And so today is a day of reckoning. A day of reckoning within the Asian American community.
Not a minority yet.
To recognize our complicity in upholding the institutions of white supremacy.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Today, we have to interrogate our own anti-blackness that exists in our community. That we have to recognize our own privilege and anti-blackness that has existed for decades. That we have to understand that any progress that we have towards defeating Asian hate is inextricably tied to the progress of our Black and brown brothers and sisters. And so today is a day of reckoning. A day of reckoning within the Asian American community. To recognize our complicity in upholding the institutions of white supremacy.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Today, we have to interrogate our own anti-blackness that exists in our community. That we have to recognize our own privilege and anti-blackness that has existed for decades. That we have to understand that any progress that we have towards defeating Asian hate is inextricably tied to the progress of our black and brown brothers and sisters. And so
All right. So y'all catch the title, The Model Minority Myth. All right. Hold on, let me get out of there. The Model Minority Myth. Now that's this thing, this construct that white supremacy created. And they did it for a reason. They did it to make sure that we were not or would not be able to climb not just the social ladder, you know what I mean, but the economic ladder, you know what I mean, the professional ladder, with whatever institutions that might have afforded us, you know, certain, you know, rights or equity, equality. What they did is they allowed the Asians to come in, and it's documented that they did this. So it's called the anyway, they allowed the Asians to come in and supported them, propped them up to bump us down. You know what I mean? But they brought them in also to contain us. You know, they supplied them whatever loans they needed, and they made sure that those Asians stayed or only dealt or had commerce businesses in our communities. All this started happening, if everybody think back in terms of jobs and stuff back in the 60s and 70s, they were taking jobs away. You know, it was harder for blacks to get loans to start businesses. All that shit was taking place back then. This was the same time they brought the Asians in. All right. The same Asians that they had been massacring, man, for decades, from the Japanese to the Vietnamese to the Koreans, right? Same people. They brought them in under white supremacy get down, but they brought them in to keep us down. So the myth is that, or the model is that, okay, if the Asians can come here to America and accomplish all these things, why can't you black people do it? Why y'all complaining? Look, then they're not starting trouble. These are good people. That's the model. That's the model that they push, the model of minorities. You know, that's just what they use. And then the Asians bought into the shit, right? But it's all a myth. They are under the impression they actually came here and got it done on their own in two respects. The first being that they came here, were able to come here, you know, devoid of, or, you know, without all the pushes and sacrifices and the accomplishments we made. In their minds, they came here, man, and that ain't had nothing to do with them. You know, that's what they think. That they came and done that on their own. And again, the other myth, though, is that in the same vein that they accomplished all this, they don't acknowledge or won't acknowledge that they came in under the direction of those in white supremacy. They were brought here to make sure we stayed at a level. And it's always been like that. Anytime immigrants come, the immigrants are always given a better seat than us. The facts, you know what I mean? Those are facts. But the Asians took this shit a step further. They began to not just assimilate, but begin to think that they were part of the white supremacist construct, you know, apparatus. They really did, not realizing that they were just a wedge. They were a wedge, man, that was placed between us and those that run everything. They were the wedge that separated, that kept us from, you know, not just evolving, but developing and you know, accomplishing all that they knew we would accomplish had they not done that. It's the same playbook. But so along with that, they began to think that they was the shit. not realizing though that they were just a tool. It wasn't until later that they realized that white supremacy was not going to let them in the door. They realizing it now. Most of them, like they said, they admit they weren't able to go to white neighborhoods and do nothing. And by the time they learned that shit, they were all too far gone to even, cause all right, ain't no big thing. We'll stay here. We love America, da, 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 da. We're not last, but the myth is that anybody can come here and accomplish all kind of shit. And if they can do it, then why can't blacks? If other minorities, and we hear them all the time, so, oh, man, we come to this country and we get it done, man, in 2-3 years. Y'all been here forever, man. Y'all can't do shit. Y'all lazy, y'all da, 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 da. They don't understand the program. They don't even understand that they're tools that are being used to work against us. And that's the cold part. But the model minority myth is all these immigrants who come here from Mexico, wherever the hell they come from, the islands, other African nations. They're under the impression that we're lazy, that we ain't done shit. We ain't about shit. They fail to see or realize what the real gig is, what the real, game is. And it is to keep Black Americans down because we are the threat. But at the same time, they don't get no more leeway than us. They get a semblance of it. They're led to believe or indoctrinated to think that they're better than us. When all along, we're on the same boat. We're all in the same boat. White supremacy is at the top, and they'll use the so-called model minority in the middle and then us at the bottom. So it's keeping us away from them, and that's the way they get down. They always want to put somebody ahead of us and to ensure that we don't catch up. It's an old play, man. It's an old ass play. And a lot of us don't see it. I was checking out a brother today, and I use the term brother loosely in regards to this nuke, NOOC. Flip it around. Anyway, he professes to be Cuban American, staunch Republican, MAGA, love Trump. Oh man, he got a whole lot to say about Black people. That dude black as me. He swears up and down we ain't shit, man. That we aren't anything. And everything we're going through is our fault. Now, to an extent, I kind of agree with that last part. Most of what we're going through now is by our own hand because we've become so comfortable in this situation or this condition that we stop fighting it, or we stop recognizing that the enemy has always been on the attack against us. We all are also indoctrinated, man, with just some of the most messed up conceptions, man. We don't see shit clearly because we are so indoctrinated, because we've been under this strain, this stress, this oppression for so long. We don't see half the shit, but this guy, he's talking bad about us, man. I mean, bad. And I'm like, I'm like, damn, man. This is a cold fight we in. Every other demographic, even some that look like us, are against us. And it's all by design. So the model minority myth is constructed of these individuals, these immigrants who've come over or were brought over and made to believe that everything they've accomplished, they did without assistance. Some extent they recognize the government helped, because they got to admit that government helped them. The government helped them. But in terms of everything, every right or privilege they have, they don't acknowledge that came as a result of our struggles. They don't, acknowledge that shit. So when we see these people now, these so-called model minorities, Asians, Indians, Mexicans, it goes on and on, When we see them, most of them are talking about or disparaging us. That's what they've been taught to do, And again, like like most of us, man, we've been indoctrinated with bullshit that doesn't benefit any of us. That being said, this is what we're facing. So when we see these Asians start talking, these are model minorities. Model minorities who understand that if they lose their footing in the black community, they have nowhere else to go. Because the reality now has dawned on them that, oh shit, it was a play the whole time. We were just here to keep them in line. Then they kick us out. We can't go to Caucasianville. We can't go to white America and set up the same shit, you know? That's the reality, and it's starting to hit them. It's starting to hit them. So now they're coming out the woodworks and, hey, man, you know what? Not all of us are like that. We don't agree with this. But where were y'all before all this shit? Where are these Asian businesses in our communities that are coming back every year annually and saying, hey, we want to bring this to the community. We appreciate the fact that you people been for decades spending your money with us and sending our children to college, buying our homes. So we want to give some back. We appreciate you. None of them. None of them. It's only now that they see we not bullshitting, that they recognize they're between a rock and a hard place now. See that wedge now. They wedged in. The wedge is wedged in. They can't even get out this situation. White supremacists had their ass this way. We got them that way. They caught in the middle of some shit that they should have been able to comprehend long time ago. They chose not to. The shit is intentional on their behalf now, you know? And so I'm saying, man, to the people, be careful, man, because they're going to come out the woodwork. You're going to see them rallying. You're going to see them talking to politicians, trying to get us to reconsider, to come back, you know, to come back, almost like some damn slave shit. You know, master them freed the slaves or whatever. The government said they're free now, and master saying, hey, man, come on back. We had a good relationship, you know. Yeah, some of the bosses were mean, but, you know, I was good to y'all. They're coming out the woodwork, man. And be careful of these so-called model minorities. We are their livelihood. We are their livelihood. They needed us more than we ever needed them. We've always known this. But they were so caught up in the system, they actually believed that shit. They actually believed it. That we not shit without them. Where they learned that from? They learned that from somebody. You know? They learned that from somebody, man. So I say, let them suffer in the mess they made, or in the mess that they didn't stop. They didn't clean up when they had an opportunity. Don't fall for this model minority jive, man. They're going to be throwing at us, y'all. Be aware, man, that these are the games they're going to play to get back in. They realize they need us because they can't go anywhere else. They can't go anywhere else. And the shit they sell, they can't sell to their own people. Their own people don't buy this crap. You know? Yeah, they're between a rock and a hard place, man, with no way out. They don't have an off-ramp, bro. They're going to try to create one. And I tell y'all, man, I'm going to say it again. Be wary of that. Be mindful of the fact that they're going to try to play some of our people to assist them. You know? They're going to use the playbook that the white supremacists use. Go get some of our people to help them, you know, get to where they want to be. That's going to happen. So just be mindful. Understand what a model minority is, because they all around us. They are the majority of those people who own the businesses in our communities. They can't go anywhere else. They've all been sent to us purposely. You know, and again, some of that is our fault. But here we are in a position where we could change a whole lot of shit, man. We could take back our dignity and our pride, our self-respect. Hey, man, and just be done with it. You know, in fact, it should be B1 right now. Blacks should be first. No exceptions, man. No more exceptions. Too many people try to take advantage of us. Too many people disrespect us and will say out loud that they hate us. And yet what they do, they steal our culture. They enjoy our culture. But us, the human being, they despise us. We have no friends, man. That's the reality we're going to have to face. That is the first reality. We have no friends. We all we got, man. And I'm telling y'all, the sooner we get to that, the better off we'll be. So our brothers in the streets with this bullshit, hey, man, them days got to be over soon, very soon. But we're going to need brothers, man, and sisters to come together because I'm telling y'all, this shit is just now starting. This shit going to develop into some shit a lot of us ain't going to be ready for. And I told y'all, you know, think about it. They got mugs coming all the way from Canada and Europe to train with these Nazis over here, man. These skinheads, these Klans people, you know, these jackboots, man. These white militias. We don't pay enough attention. We don't pay close enough attention to what's really happening, you know? And if you pay attention, you'll hear it more and more. Race war, race war, race war. It's coming. And we're going to be the only ones fighting on this side. The only ones. And that's what I'm saying, man. So let's make sure we don't fall for the okie doke. Them days got to be over, man. Let's be done with that shit. They've made their bed. Let them sleep in it. They disparaged us and disrespected us for decades, man. Can't nobody deny that. Can nobody deny that, man? You know, very inconsiderate and rude, man, murderous. People didn't beat up our women and our children, man. Nah, don't give them a break. And again, we're not doing this out of anger. We should be motivated, but just by the love of our people, man. We love us enough to recognize, hey, man, it's our time now, man. We done gave us, man, body and soul, man, blood, lives for all these people, man, and none of them appreciate us. We got to stop giving them shit, man. We got to let go about their business, man, and we need to be about our business. That's some real shit. There ain't nothing racist about what I'm saying. You know, I've never thought to be a racist, you know. You know, put it plainly, I hate those who hate me. That's it. Other than that, I can give a fine flick about what you do, what you got. But how you treat my people, that's a whole nother story. It's our time, man. B1 got to stand for something. When we had these grand risers, man, we got to get up knowing, man, it's on and cracking. You know, and we got to find a way to meld that, to mix that in our everyday get down, man. We have to keep this shit on our brains, man, because if we slip, that's it. That's it. So, yeah, watch out for these so-called model minorities. They're the good ones. They never start trouble. They never complain. All right? And think about that. Think about Asians, how they get out. They want to be model minorities. And they look at us sideways with their nose turned up, you know? You know, they got all kind of remarks for us. Unruly, you know what I mean? Uncivilized, all kind of shit. They are the model minority. They're the number ones, in fact. You know, so hey, think about that. That's what that one piece was about, man. So you had this model minority getting up there talking about we stand with the black people. Nah. Even back then in the 60s and shit, man, they didn't. It was all cap and game, man. They were looking, man, to do better than us and not give a damn about us, man. They didn't really care about the struggle. They didn't, you know. So be mindful of this shit, man, and these behaviors that they exhibit or that they're going to start displaying. They're going to start getting on these podiums and on these televisions. They're going to do a lot of shit, man, to try to get back in. Let's stay strong, y'all. This is a real fight, I promise you. All right, I got another one. Let me read some of these comments right quick, though. All right. B60 say, man, Rakufu, you have a way with words. Salute to you, brother. Yeah, I'm thinking, all right, man. This is some strong shit I've been reading last week or so. You know, and I call myself, no, I don't. I'm about to say I call myself a poet, but I don't. I'm not. Yeah, man, your shit is top flight. I can dig it. That's why I don't mind reading it. You know, if I had a problem with it, I'd skip over that shit kind of quick, like, this bullshit. It's tight, homie. That's why I read it. Appreciate you. Rakufu say, Bubble Man, I got a bomb movie for you tonight. It's called One Spoon of Chocolate by Quentin Tarantino and RZA from Wu-Tang. Not a real big fan of Tarantino, but okay, I like my boy RZA. I'll see. One spoon of chocolate. Yeah, that almost sounds racist or racial in a way. You know, I know how Tarantino get down, man. But we'll check that out. One spoon of chocolate. All right, Henry, we see you, man. You say peace and love, everyone. Salute, Brother Bub. Hope everyone is good this evening. Everything is everything. Peace and prosperity to you and the family. Glad to see you amongst us again. Grand rising, ain't it? A grand rising. All right, bro. Ross said, man, hey, Bub, man, I was working in our community, setting appointments for home improvement and seen and talked to Nissan Mike on 77 and Buttlong. Then went to 74th Street and seen Mario Roy brother. Beautiful day. Man, ain't that something? So you all of them down, man. Buttlong, Kansas and Buttlong and Vermont. Damn. I was through there the other day, man, and hung out with a lot of the brothers, man. I was chopping up with Tough, though. Because like I said, I'm start dealing with Tough in terms of, mentoring and stuff. He's setting up this get down for me to mentor a lot of our loved ones, our young homies and shit, that's soon. So I told her, hey, man, I'm ready. I don't need a script, just let me at them, man. We're going to get them in. We're going to lock the door, But yeah, man, it's always good to run into loved ones, man. Real spit. All right. Folks say one way or another, man, an Asian diet will put money back in our pockets by staying away from these takeouts, which is a good way to get healthy. It could possibly at this time put the black folk back at the table where we could build with each other again the right way. I miss you, Grandma. Yeah, man, I tell you, when I talk about back in the day, and this is no exaggeration, the streets we lived on, and I mean this, man. I mean this. This is, truth to power, man. Right hand man to the energy and everything else, right? We looked out for each other, man. We looked out for each other, man. And I mean that in more ways than one. If it was financial, if it was in terms of nourishment, and that can be nourishment for the body as well as the spirit, man, and the mind. You know what I mean? We were disciplined, man, by the adults. Everybody knew most of everything, what was going on, on every street I ever lived on. And again, yeah, I'm talking about the 70s up until the early 80s. And, from that point, I was really taking long vacations at that time. But it's real spit, man. There was a genuine love and concern for the people. Because again, we had just come out of that era, that revolutionary era, you know what I'm saying? So that hung with the people for a while. If it wasn't food in one house, man, check this out, man. Neighbors would be bringing food. If it wasn't no water, no electricity, man, use ours. And all the sisters and the mothers, every weekend they get together, they would throw block parties and shit like that, They regulating chaperone house parties, wasn't never no fun. My mom threw so many house parties, man, for my older brothers, man. Not one time was ever no funk, no bullshit. The house didn't get tore up or nothing. Not once. Back then it was different, man. Yeah, so we tend, those of us who we call or remember those days, man. Yeah, you know, there was a, you know, days that are missed. They're very what's the word, nostalgic, man. Those days, you know, create a lot of nostalgia, you know, nostalgia in the brother. I think back and I miss that shit. I miss that shit, you know. That was then and this is now. That doesn't mean that we can't have that now, that unity and that love. It's just something we got to work on. So I agree with you wholeheartedly, though, Pope. Times are changed, you know, things are different, but that doesn't mean, you know, they have to be this way, you know. You know. You're going to say, Bub, man, the table I'm talking about is the one at home where the father sat and the mother sat, uncles and aunties, cousins, and even a friend or two. It would cost least. It would cost least, and we would gain our true selves, be one. That's what I mean, bro. You know, and that is the truth. You know, you have sleepovers and shit. You spend the night. You come, hey, man, everybody knew everybody. It was a community. I can't, man. Listen, man, I'll tell you, there's too many memories I have about back in the day that, yeah, I miss when I think about them, you know. And this is why I think the way I think now, because man, we lost something, man. We lost something. And that's been missing for a long time. But I kind of think that we're coming back to that, man. It's returning. Those times, man, where blacks were unified, you know. They were unified, man. Mothers and fathers, even if fathers wasn't there, man, still unity, man. You know, like say you had uncles and shit, you know, big cousins and shit, you know, show the way, lead the way, you know. Yeah, them days, man, we miss them days, man. Ross said, man, Bub, it reminds me how our South African, Zulu, etc. brothers and sisters are kicking out other African and blacks out of their country, but not kicking those whites out right now. Yeah, right? Continue. Hold on. Damn, you didn't leave that's on, you left it off right there. But yeah, so I'm peeping that too, right? And I'm gonna tell you something, Mo. It's a cold game, man, that's been played on us. Those of us who are here and our brothers and sisters across the water. You know, back in what was it, 18? I forget the exact year though. The 19th century, when all them Europeans got together and they chopped up Africa. They created division in Africa. You know, they created borders and shit. To this day, you can't even travel throughout Africa without a passport going from country to country. That's funny because in Europe, you can. You know, you could travel through most parts of Europe without having to present a passport. You jump on the train, man, you all up and down Europe. Africa's different. Why is that? Divide and conquer, man. Divide and rule. You know, so they're going through the same thing. You know, us here, we say, hey, for those of us who've been here, generations upon generations upon generations are now having issues with tethers. You know, they're coming. I was just talking about some of these people. They come from, you know, the islands and shit. You know what I mean? They come from the Caribbean. They come from Africa. They come from everywhere. And you know, they look at us like we shit. We haven't gotten to that point where we kicking people out, though. You know what I mean? You know, again, we're not like that. But we're mindful of how people tend to try to treat us. Yeah, what's going on in South Africa? I don't know, man. I tend to think that though their focus is on the, I think it's the Nigerians and a few others, I think their focus is going to shift to the Indians and the Asians next, and the so-called Afrikaner. I see that happening. Trump sees it happening. That's why he's allowing, even, man, a whole bunch of them are over here now. I'm trying to recollect my thoughts in terms of the numbers. I was about to say 100,000. I don't know if it's about 70 something thousand of them that came over here. You know, Trump has provided them sanctuary here. They know it's a powder keg. They're trying to get out. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I just think that however they're looking at that situation over there, they're looking at it in terms of how they see the situation. South Africans been through a lot. Everybody came over there and ran roughshod over them. You know, treated them like shit. You know, one of the persons that people applaud and talk highly of is Gandhi, right? Gandhi hated Africans, bro. Hated him. Hated Africans, man. I can't stand Gandhi, man. I don't fuck Gandhi. You know, and a lot of y'all don't know that because that's the type of shit they do. They hide the truth of people from people, you know, and they'll have us sitting up quoting his shit and acting like, oh, he was the friend of the black man. He was not. Very racist towards blacks and Africans. Very, you know. But yeah, they got that issue with Indians over there. They got that issue, man, again, with Asians. They're all kind of different demographics in South Africa, you know. And if you look at it again, look at it like I was saying, what it is here when we're talking about the model minority. The same play in South Africa, bro. So they say, okay, we're going to get rid of apartheid, but some of that system is still in play over there. They're quick to let others come over and establish businesses and shit over South Africans who've been there. Most of them, well, I ain't going to say most, but a lot of them still to this day cater to whites or maids and nannies and shit like that, you know? Chauffeurs, you know, drivers of white, you know. The president was Mandela. You got Ramaphosa over there. That dude's a joke. South Africans are in a cold spot. You know, I'm not gonna liken them to us, but they getting some cold shit. They done been through some shit. Now, whether or not I agree how they going about it, not really, man. You know, but you looking at people that are saying, man, hey, man, Asians come over here because they say they want a better life. That's the claim they make. Mexicans, everybody else. Same for over there, man. Nigerians move from, you know, boom, go over there. Not just Nigeria, all kinds. All kind of other African nationalities, you know, or ethnicities go to South Africa because, you know, they say they can get a better life. But they get there and they treat the native South African like he's shit. Same shit, y'all. Same shit. So I don't really know how to address that. I just know that I just understand that South Africans are up against it and have been for a very, very long time as well. That's all I can say on that. You know. And again, let's keep our fingers crossed that they stay the course. Whenever they do what they got to do to get other people out of there, that they get all them other people out of there next. Take back their land. I ain't against them for that. I have to say. Yeah, they kept the Zulu, man, the ANC in Kata. They kept them fighting for decades, each other. You know, while de Klerk, man, and apartheid just ran roughshod over the people, man. Killed the people, raped the women, all kind of shit, man. The children. Man. Yeah, that government, man, and the Nigerian government as well. Them dudes ought to be ashamed of themselves. Ought to be ashamed of themselves. Chris, what it do, loved one? Everyone is everyone is taking black people for granted. Everybody. We have no friends, y'all. Real spit. We have no friends, you know. You're going to say, Chris, these Asian people think they white. They're out of order and disrespectful. They need to sit down. Yeah, but they need to be eradicated from our communities, their businesses, and don't send them back to Koreatown, Chinatown, Japantown, you know, Indian town, wherever the towns they come from. Yeah, send them back there. But again, we should understand that Yeah, they can go back, but they won't have any businesses. Because again, the shit they sell us, they don't buy. You know, they have specialty stores where they go get the shit they really eat. The shit they serve us and cook and we eat, they don't eat. They prepare their shit just totally different, man. That's just what it is, you know. But they can't go back to their own communities and have a thriving business. They can't. They don't buy hair and wigs and shit, you know. They don't even eat the food they cook and sell us, man. So yeah. And the whites ain't letting them up in they shit. We already know that. They know that. You know, we hear them talking about it. You know, I heard one today saying, hey, we can't even go to white communities with our business. They won't allow it. Yeah, model minorities, my ass, man. Y'all, they a bunch of sellouts too. They come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, y'all. All right, Henry. And by the way, Chris, peace and prosperity, bro. Good to see you up in here, man. Love and respect to you and the fam, bro. All right, Henry, what it do, man? Peace and prosperity, bro. Good to see you here. He said, man, those ones who are saying they don't feel like the other ones feel, who didn't like black people, whatever race, needs to go and tell the ones around them if they really feel that way. Where you at, Henry? Oh. Sorry about that. God damn it. Yeah, man. Again, I just think it's all cap. It's all cap. Like I said, man, where were they before all this? Before Cyrus, you know, Tasha, and others. Where were they then? They were like the rest of them, thinking, oh, we can do this. We can get away with it. You know, they ain't gonna do shit. That's what most of them think about us. We ain't gonna do shit. Crackers used to think that about us. Oh, they ain't gonna do shit. Until they realized we gonna do some shit. Then they had to start playing hardball. They like, hey man, they gonna do some shit. We got to start knocking down their leaders, their men and their women. We got to, hey man, cause they scary. Asians getting it on the light end. we just blackouting. You know, we're not gonna frequent or patronize your stores, your businesses anymore. Y'all getting a lot easier than they got it. You know, it behoove y'all to just leave. Tell the truth. You know, there's no need to stay. There's no need to stay. Folks say, man, I'm so tired of fighting with my people over nothing. We always take the hard road, even with each other. I would be lying when it hasn't played a part in reshaping who I am, but I am better for it. Tell the truth, bro. The fire is real, but I see clearly, and my love will always be here for the truth. Typo, but you'll get it right. Yeah. All good, bro. Yeah, man, this shit got to end, and I see it. You know, it's happening. It's happening. All right, Smoke. Miami is in the house, everybody. What it do, man? Oh, yeah. Damn, I sure forgot about that. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'll be busy, man. I'll be busy as a motherfucker. We're gonna see if we make this thing work. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. All right, that number 424 9384. All right. Let me get back to this. All right. I'm gonna put it in the get out right now. All right, there you go. You may have to forgive me if I don't know how to work it right. But yeah, man. Smoke said, man, the Congolese are going through the worst conditions in Africa right now. Of course, yeah, in that respect, yeah, the Congo, because we see what's happening over there as well. But when we're talking about no, who the hell is that? Hold on, y'all. Hello. Hey. Hello. Hey, what it do, bro? Hold on, I'm trying to. You didn't use the one on the podcast. Hold on, though. That's fine. What? You good? Yeah, we lining that one up tonight for sure. Yeah. No. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna watch it though. I've never seen it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Rakufu decided to call in, man. Okay, back to this. So yeah. I mean, in terms of South Africans, man, the Congolese also historically been through some shit, man, no doubt. But here, we don't see other segments of our people spilling into the Congo, man, and we don't see that. What we see taking place in the Congo is bad. You know what I mean? You got famine and disease. You got war. That's bad in and of itself. No doubt about that, bro. You got a government that is allowing itself to be played by European governments, United States. I mean, it's all bad, man. There's a whole lot going on over there, some of which I'm not even going to discuss. But just in terms of what, all right, goddamn, what y'all doing? Hold on. Let me see if I can answer. Oh shit. I gotta connect the mic, man. Can y'all hear me? All right. Yeah. Yeah, I saw you calling just now on B60. No, that wasn't B60. Hold on, that was Arlington. I saw you, Arlington. The number I gave you called directly to my shit, so I'm not connecting something. All right, anyway. You're taking black people for granted. Yeah, everybody taking black people for granted, no doubt. What's wrong with this motherfucker? All right, there we go. I was having some problems right here. All right, Rakufu said, man, listen, the World Cup was a divide and conquer tactic, had all the African countries rooting against South Africa for Mexico. Ain't that something? Shaking my damn head too. But again, man, this is all over the world. When it comes to us, man, we've been affected with this bullshit from these people, but not just us. Again, man, look at how the Asian community get down. They've been taught or indoctrinated to hate us, man, as much as we hate ourselves. The Mexicans, same thing. Indians, any demographic, man, they all hate us. We are by ourselves. We literally have no one but us. And that would even include some of our own melanated people. Somebody calling in. Let me see if this thing happened. What the fuck? Nah, man.
Going to.
Hear me?
To accept.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, somebody let me know if y'all can hear it. Is this smoke? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Somebody let me know if y'all can hear him as well. Hold on, smoke. All right, hey, Desmond Chapman. Desmond Chapman, man. He salute Bub and salute to the Royal Convocation, but we're gonna call it the Royal Group Congregation. Good to see you back amongst us, brother. All right. All right, yeah, yeah, yeah. What it do, Smoke? We ain't gonna take up too much time though. What's up? What's on your mind? Yeah, right, right. Yeah. Hold on, Smoke. Cause they saying they can't hear you. I need them to hear you, bro. Hold on. We want to make sure they hear you. Okay, I need to make sure I'm setting this thing up right. Okay, I'm receiving calls. That's cool. All right, I need them to hear you, bro. No, I ain't gonna call you. I just need you to be able to talk. I think I forgot how to do that. Let me see. I can hear you, Smoke. Nah, I'm trying to figure out how to get them in here. Let me see. Right, right. That's true. It's all over the country. It's all over the world, basically. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Somebody let me know if they can hear Smoke, man. I'm trying to. They're telling me to turn on my mic. I can hear you. I can hear you, but I don't think they can hear you. Yeah, I don't think they can hear you. Yeah, I hear you, bro. You good on my end, Smoke? I can hear you. Wait a minute, hold on. Probably can't connect. Boom. Yeah. Okay, can you hear me? All right, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I hear you, but nobody else can hear you. That's what's messed up. I'm trying to get them in on the call. Yeah, yeah, through the logging out. Now the thing is, I forgot is one move I'm forgetting to do to bring you in on the mic. And I ain't used this thing since I got it. Tell you the truth, man. I haven't used this thing once. Yeah, right. Yeah. But see, that's the whole point. I done forgot how to do that. I know she could call me, but I can't get you to be heard by our people. So let's kill this because they can't hear what you're talking about. Yeah, I'll have it together though. I'll have it together Monday. No, I appreciate you, bro. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. All right, there you go. Yeah, I done forgot how to turn the mic on so y'all can hear him. I ain't used this thing but one time, but never live. So my bad, my apologies on that. I've done it with my wife, but we weren't necessarily even live. So I don't know if the shit really worked when we were messing around with it. But hey, Rob, man, I hear you, man, about this soccer shit and how people have gotten to the point where we don't understand that we need each other more than we don't. But I tell you what, I think what's gonna happen is the fact that a lot of people, man, um, especially us, it's gonna come a point where they're gonna see the light, man. They're gonna be hit by the light, man. And I'm kind of hoping that it ain't too late at that point or by then. Now, as far as everybody else go, I like I say, I don't really care, man. I don't think that should be our concern, whether or not other people get it. What should be the issue is whether or not we get it. That's what I think matters, man. Anything else is irrelevant, man. It's irrelevant. Like I say, man, if they going on TikTok anywhere and they jaw jacking, hey man, what we supposed to do first and foremost is not even entertain that shit. Don't give them. Let's see what this Asian dude said. Let's see what this Mexican said. Let's see what this Indian said. Now, man, we ain't got to see shit. We ain't got to see or hear nothing. We already know what they saying. The title speaks for itself, but we give them that attention. We're helping them anyway. Stop helping their asses. Our focus should be on us, black first. It shouldn't matter, man, when it comes to anybody else, man. But again, hey, we got to get past this indoctrination, man, that all of us have suffered from as a result of white supremacy. Straight up. Smoke was just saying some solid shit just now. And I'm sorry that you guys apologize, you guys weren't able to hear it. But what is going on is happening all over the world, especially when it comes to melanated people. This shit is not by mistake, man. And couple that with the fact that there's some shit going on here in the United States against us, a lot of us aren't even aware of, and so when the shit hit the fan, we're gonna be caught, with our pants down, so to speak. We're gonna be caught with our pants down, man, and it ain't gonna be too much we could do as a result of that. So, all right, soldier, I see you. One of our queen sisters. Peace to the queens and kings of the RGC. All right. I hope that some of you can join me tomorrow at Peck Park for an early Juneteenth celebration. And I had that discussion with the wife. Say, hey, man, don't be waiting till the last minute. Let me know what I'm going to do. I was like, yep, you're right. Yep, you're right. Yep, I'm jumping in the truck tomorrow in the morning anyway. I'll be headed down that way. Peck Park. Where is that soldier? Is it in Torrance? What's the major street? I'm gonna have to Google that thing. Juneteenth, y'all. All right, Desmond Chapman say salute, Bub, man, and salute to the Royal Group congregation. Right back to you, bro. Good seeing it, like I said. All right, peace and prosperity to you and the fam. Chris, man, what it do? He said, man, that's facts, man. That's fact. Everyone hates us, and it must be a conspiracy. It's deeper than yeah, conspiracy. We ain't even got to use that word no more, bro. It is what it is. It's just pure hatred, man. I tell you what, it's not a conspiracy. It's fear, man. That's just my take. It's fear. Somebody said, I think it was you last night, you or Rakufu, somebody said it's fear of a black planet, man. And I said, man, Public Enemy, man, you know, that's what it is, man. More than anything, it's fear. You know, hate is a byproduct of fear, and that's from all of them. That's from all of them. Desmond said, man, dig, I just lost my cousin, man, by these Klansmen in the blue suit. Damn, man, our condolences, bro. And see, that's one of the things we don't want to hear, you know? And then there's that situation, man, where, hey, man, we out here doing this shit to each other, man. And these Nazis, man, they still got free reign. Ain't nobody like, hey, man, we're not protecting each other. You know what I mean? I understand the camera thing, but I don't think they actually give a damn about that. You pulling out a camera. I don't think that matters to them. I really don't. And they got it set up nowadays where if it's enough of them, they create a blue wall, excuse the pun, and you won't see what the hell going on through the backs of them, you know, them people, man. You know? And unless we willing to fight for real, then I guess we just keep the phones out and they keep, you know, gunning down our brothers. Our condolences again, bro. Mine anyway. Yeah, like I say, man, I remember back in the day, we used to get down with them. You don't even hear about that no more. Ain't nobody fighting the police no more nowadays. Shit. We get down with their ass, man. We was not scared of them mugs. Yeah, man. Desmond said, man, we are at war for real, family. And I'm telling y'all, the sooner we know this, the better. In other words, we'll be a little more prepared to deal with these jackboots, man. That's what they are, jackboots. All right, my bad on the smoke issue, y'all. Chris got jokes. Hey, Bub, you might need one of them Asians, man, to help you with this technical stuff. Yeah. Hell nah, fuck that. I don't even want my man. Mr. Grow Fire said facts, man, facts. Desmond going to say, man, right. You know all day what time they be on, man. Factoid for real. Yeah, man, these people they on that time, bro. Yeah, they on that time. They on crazy time, man. That's what they own, man. And we ain't matching that energy. We have to match that energy. Chris said, man, we know the consensus. Nobody likes us. You might have a selected few who thinks otherwise and know the truth that the black man comes to rule. Yeah, and what in turn to what you just said, Chris, we don't even get down like that. Where we got the rule, you know what I mean? Man, for the most part, man, we just know how to get down. And to get down is such where mother's gonna follow it anyway because they recognize it's the shit. We ain't got to rule no motherfucker. All we got to do is play some shit out there. And they be like, oh, we want to do that. If we design, man, another system, whatever the case may be, and it works, they're going to be like, oh, we're going to do that. All we got to do is what we've been doing throughout time, man. I think, though, it's our time to create or bring something to the table like those who came before us. Everything that we use to function, our people created this. It's sad. I don't even know how to make this thing talk, and my people created this shit, But that's the point is, anything we bring to the table, they all not just, they have a need for it. They latch on to it. They become, a part of it. They love it. So I'm saying that to say, man, And this, I think it's gonna happen when shit get the way it's supposed to be. We ain't got to rule no mug, man. I don't think we them type of people, man. Hey, man, just follow what we do, man. We ain't got to lead you. We gonna show you, hey, just pay attention, because that's what they do anyway. That's what they do anyway. If we say, man, democracy ain't for melanated people, us at least, they're gonna be like, oh, yeah, democracy ain't for us. If we say, man, we need a new system, a monetary system, they be like, yeah, we need a new monetary system. Whatever we bring to the table, man, they trust it. They become a part of it. They want to be in on it. And I'm saying we don't have to never say, man, we run this now. We ain't got to ever do that. That motherfucker gonna follow us anyway. Because they know everything we do, everything we touch turns to gold. Everything. So, yeah. We gonna be the motherfuckers and we ain't got to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Aliens come. They be like, hey, man, who run this? They was the blacks. So shit. I don't know, man. All right, Raymond Scott, what it do, loved one? Peace, prosperity, you and the Rays, man, to your family first and foremost, and to the rest of the brothers, sisters, man, in the Rays, man. Good to see you up in here, bro. You say salute, bub, and to the RGCB1 equals black first. There it is. Chris said they got the fear, but they can't stop prophecy. That's the whole point. And that's why this is why I've been saying over the last week, I think prophecy is coming into play and we have to be mindful of this shit. We have to be mindful. We can't drop the ball, man. This is the catalyst, I think. What's taking place now is just a springboard into the get down, man. I really think that, because all we need to see is that, we know this, but we want to, okay, yeah, we done that. We did that. What's next? Who's next? You know what I mean? And by that, through that, we're following whatever was prophesied. You know what I mean? Whatever that creation is that say, man, I choose y'all over everybody else. Whatever that is, man, it's gonna come to pass. But we got to be mindful of the fact that, man, we supposed to be on point. We supposed to know when to step through doors, man. We supposed to know when to move, man, when to act, when to groove, when to roll. We supposed to. It's in our DNA, So we can't drop the ball on this one, man. I'm telling you, this is the catalyst, y'all. We are supposed to pivot from this to something even bigger. And that could be, okay, now how do we manage all this money we saved? And that should be the purpose and understanding in terms of what we're doing with these Asians and others. And I say this freely, I say this willfully, and others. We should be able to see some type of accumulation in our dollars. You know what I mean? Because if we're spending less, and that's not to say, man, we're not going to spend on. That's the intent, to spend with our people. But at the same time, it's also about cutting back based on all the shit we was buying from these people. There should be something to show for it, to go along with that money circulating in our communities. Okay, that happened. We done that. We shut this down over here. Now we're seeing our community, our people who have businesses start to prosper. Okay, are we saving money as well? We have to have a pivot. We got to know what we're going to do next. What's the agenda, man? What's next? And see, that's their hope as well. Well, they can boycott us and everything, but they ain't going to know what to do. See, they still think ill of us. And that shit will only come to pass, man, if we miss the mark. If we don't pivot right, then they're right. You know, I mean, might not change. That might, you know, that don't mean we going back spending money with them bastards. But hey, why are we doing this? What's our motivation? Love for our people. How far does that go? How do we represent this, man? Other than saying, hey, man, we had enough of y'all, you know, and this is what we're going to do. Okay, what are we going to do? It's in the atmosphere. The whole world know what we're doing. What do we do after that? How do we pivot from that to, you know, black businesses having black, you know, dollars, you know, us saving? What are we doing this for? You know what I mean? It needs to be more, you know, concrete and out and open so that there's an understanding with the people, especially those who have businesses, you know, especially those who are going to black businesses. There has to be a purpose beyond that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And, you know, if we do that right, then we're meeting or we're living out the prophecy, I think. If we don't do this, if this is all we do, then we fell in the prophecy, bro. We don't want to fail the prophecy. All of us know what the prophecy, I don't care what religion or faith or what we all have a concept about something, right? That anointed us, that sanctioned us as the ones. Whole world know it. Some of them know it better than us. They got the artifacts, they got the scrolls, they got the proof. We know it inherently, for the most part. You know what I mean? We know we the chosen one, man. No matter what nobody else say, man. You know, but as that, do we know what we're supposed to do? That's my question. That's always been my question. Because I think that if that prophecy, if what is in our DNA was flowing through our blood, our cells, you know, what ignites us, what, you know, talks to us, man, you know, even when we don't hear shit, but we hear shit. You feel me? You know, spirit talk, you know, man, do we know what to do, man? What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to assist the prophecy? You know, and I want to hurry up and say this because I already know there's this possibility. Those of us who have religions and faiths, and first thing we're gonna go to is that. But when I'm talking to those of us who don't necessarily subscribe to that, right? And that shouldn't be nothing to keep us apart. You know, if we all understand that we were created for a purpose, whether or not a lot of us are subscribed to, you know, any of that. We are subscribing to the fact that we come from something. We'll say it in terms that we're okay with. We have the God gene. You know what I mean? We recognize something is responsible and have, we think, you know, anointed us to be these people, you know, these beings, these humans, you know what I mean? So let's not allow that to, you know, convolute to get out. The fact of the matter is, I think the majority of us recognize, man, that there's something greater than us that had, you know, its fingerprint is on us. You know, some of us are black as night, black as space. You know, we have abilities, man, gifts, talents no one else can claim. So, but again, how do we all come together, man, to fulfill the prophecy? Like I say, man, there's one thing, man, to understand. Okay, let's do us, man, because we tired of people, blah, 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 blah. Right. To what end are we doing this, though? That's what I'm saying. We have to have a direction to go in, man, that's going to serve us or that's going to get us to where we're supposed to be based upon prophecy. Is it? Appreciate that, Chris. And I hope I made sense. Shit, you know. I like to think that I made a little sense. Desmond said, man, that hate with them folks is so piercing, fam. Word. And again, y'all, this is the thing too, Desmond. And I'm just learning this. I'm trying to reconcile with this because I heard one of our brothers say it, and it was so profound. He said, man, listen, we can't be motivated by anger, bro. We can't be motivated by our own anger or theirs. We can't be motivated by our hate for them or their hate for us. We got to be motivated by love. That's it. And this is what, hey, man, I tend to think that this is what's kept us around for so long. We do inherently have a love that no one else can explain or even understand, homie. And I mean, for us, we really do have that. And it's the love for us that I think that has sustained us, even in our worst moments, man, when we're dealing with each other. Certain love still exists. And there's that energy that we all want to talk about, discuss. That's, you know, that's coursing through our veins. Listen, man, be motivated by love for your people. And that's going, I'm telling you that, you know, when you think about that, you start to formulate ideas and concepts. You start to understand, okay, man, then what can come as a result of this? What do I need to do? How do I put this piece on the board and move it, you know, over here to make it like, okay, this is beneficial to us. It's working for us. That's how we need to look at it. We cannot be motivated, propelled, or, enticed or influenced by anger and or aggression sometimes. Some aggression I understand and I'm for. But I have learned that anger accomplishes nothing. In fact, it clouds the mind. It clouds judgment. You know, so and that coming from me, you know, I don't know. You got to know me, man. That's no, oh shit, that's this is my that's new for me. You know what I mean? But like I say, I'm just coming into acceptance of that. All right. So let our motivation be based upon our love for our people. When we lose our people, man, to injustice, man, you know what I mean? To oppression, suppression, to murder, you know, to racism, bigotry, white supremacy, you know, or any other misguided ideology by any other ethnicity or demographic of people. Ours got to be, man, based upon our love for our people is why we acting, why we gonna move, why we gonna get ours on, man, like we should. That's it. It shouldn't be on nothing else. We know who's wronging us. We know who's wronging us. So, you know, that time will come. At least that's what I think. My soul be telling me that shit. The time is actually here. It's now. But, you know, we still got some preparing to do. You know. So Janice sending her shots out to Lisa Moore. She said, Lisa Moore, thank you, sister. All I need is a mic. And I'm about to cut up. Yeah. Hey, anytime, Desmond, man. This is what we here for, man. Each one reach one, y'all. All right, real spit. I got another clip, man. I found it insightful. One of them good things, man. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, we already saw that one. We ain't gonna go back to that one. Oh, this is even better. So I was talking about, here's an expression of what I was discussing in terms of the model minority, all right? The model minority myth, all right? Deep shit, man. There's no volume on this. Let me see. Yeah, there's no volume. Hold on, let me see. I wanna, yeah, there's no volume. Damn. Let me bring this in. I'm gonna read this right quick, y'all. Is that one there? Yep. All right. Let me get back. Back. Okay. So check this out. A quick read. It's a quick read. This was hooked up on May 30th, man, at 4:25 p.m. It says the model minority myth was never a compliment to those who think that it is. To those who say, "Oh, we did it, and we're immigrants. You couldn't do it. We did it." They've been given that handle, and they think or thought it was a compliment coming from, white supremacy. Anyway, now here's where folks get uncomfortable. So stay with me. To understand how a shopkeeper becomes judge, jury, and executioner over a child, you have to understand the position that shopkeeper was handed. The model minority image got manufactured in the mid-60s, 1960s. Peterson wrote a whole magazine piece in 1966 holding up Japanese Americans as the success story, the good ones, the ones who worked hard and didn't make trouble. And the timing was the tale. That was the same decade Black folks were in the streets demanding the country pay what it owed. The model minority myth was built on a rebuke. All right, I'm going to be the example. The story said, and if Asians can make it, then Black complaint must be a character flaw rather than a structural fact. Claire Jean Kim gave this its sharpest name, racial triangulation. All right, and right quick, that is just, it's a graft where you have white supremacy at the top. It's almost like a triangle. Asian immigrants here and Africans here, Black Americans here, or as some of you like to say now, FBAs. That is the triangulation. But it's constructed in such a way to where we're always over here. We'll never get close to them. You know what I mean? Not, let me read more. Shit, it'll probably tell it better than me. Anyway, so Claire Jean Kim gave it its sharpest name, racial triangulation. Asian Americans get valorized relative to Black Americans. Look how well they do, right? And simultaneously get marked as permanent foreigners relative to white Americans. Go back to where you came from. It's always what white people tell people, right? Anyway, two moves at once. You get held up as proof that the system works and held down as proof that you'll never fully belong. And the function of being held up is to be aimed. A wedge has to be sharp on one end to do its job. And the job was always to be driven between Black people and everybody else. So there it is, the model minority myth. And a lot of them wear that. They wear that jacket, because they're quick to say it. All of them, not just Asians, Mexicans say it now. The Tethers say it. The Tethers, they say it now. Indians say it. All of them say it. And it's just a myth, man. It ain't permanent. It ain't nothing that they can stand on, especially in the same space with them people. Let me get rid of that. I might have another one. Let's see what we got here. I already played that. How's that there? Okay. Okay, it's time to take accountability, y'all. Okay, how long is this? All right, I'm gonna play one more clip. And then we can chop this up if y'all want to. And I'm wondering, man, did y'all catch that last one I just read? Should I had read it again or what? Let me know. All right, let me get back to this, though. It's time to take accountability. Yeah, man. So that is the basis or the explanation of the model minority myth. And for a lot of them, it's just a myth. They don't really understand, man, the true nature of what they're doing or where they really fit in terms of, this white power structure. Cold thing. Like I said, they're between the rock and the hard place. It was put there as a wedge, but look, they stuck. They don't even have an off ramp, man. Now they need us. They need us, you know. And I say, don't help them ever again. That's a wrap. Smoke say, man, the other nations hate the American indigenous people is because we own the whole planet by birthright, and they did not expect us to find out. Why do you think Donald Trump took over Greenland? Well, has he actually taken over Greenland, no smoke? You know, has he actually taken over Greenland? You know, I know there's talk about it, and you know, I know also he sent diplomats down there maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So there's some type of discussion going on. I don't doubt that. But has he taken over Greenland? I don't know. B60 says, man, the laws change, so it's a lot of time associated with fighting the police. Smoke going to say, man, we don't see the other nations in no real fight. We see each other as a real threat when the funk starts lingering. We make the funky faces towards each other. When do we start to trust one another? I say now is the time. Now is the time. Now is that time. That's what I say. That's what I say. Now is the time, man, that we start to trust and work with one another. Chris said, that's a fact, man. We need to be deep thinkers. Raymond Skull said, man, maybe this racial tension is about to dictate our unity, trust, and respect amongst us blacks. Then we move forward to economic independence. This is how we take over. A brother named O.W. Gurley started the Black Wall Street. They've raised to success and power. Their rise to power and success, or to success and power, was in unity and spending black dollars with one another. It helped them all become wealthy. Real shit. Real shit. Real shit. So to answer your question, Raymond Score, I'm with you in that respect. I've said this a few minutes ago, maybe an hour ago. This is the catalyst. Well, it may have been an hour, but this is the catalyst. This is the catalyst for that. This unity that we know we lack and that we need to have, especially in this moment. Because I think that this moment is that time. It's supposed to happen based upon this shit that we're going through, that we've been going through in the last 2 weeks. This is the moment, you know, and we have to take advantage of it. We have brothers that aren't really in full support or being accountable in regards to this shit, understanding what's really happening. And we have to bring them to the table, man. We have to find a way, us, bro, you know, especially us here in LA. We have to find and devise a way to get brothers to the table. Hey, man, enough is enough. Now we need each other for real, for real. You know, this is our moment. And I'm telling you, we can't squander this opportunity. You know, I think this is the springboard to something way, man, to all our dreams, you know, not just our dreams, man, but what the DNA say, what the ancestors imparted in us. This is it. This is the start of it. But again, that's on us. You know, that's on us. It's on us, whether or not we pivot from this to something greater. Like the Love was saying, do we fulfill prophecy or not? And in order for us to fulfill prophecy, man, whatever issues minute as they are, man, we got to get over that shit right now, you know? Right to the fuck now, you know? So yeah, man, shit. This is how we get it done. This is how we take over. Desmond, man, said, facts, we need to build that capital with each other all day. We got real talk. It's all in our faces in a real way. Everybody's feeling it's surging in us. The DNA is starting to speak, man. What they say, we waking up now. That's valid, man. That's some valid shit, man. We're waking up now, you know. And again, we said this last month. For some of us who want to continue to slumber and sleep, we got to nudge them. Hey, man, wake the fuck up, man. It's time to get up, you know. It's time to get up, man. That's our work. That's how we become accountable. We got to spread the word. We got to let our brother and our sisters know. I just watched a sister go in on some sisters at an Asian, whatever, you know, they do the nails and shit. She, you know, the place is virtually empty, but she go in there, she see 3 sisters. She go in on them. What y'all doing? Y'all know we do not. Y'all know we boycotting these people. They don't get what y'all doing. And them sisters got to trying to hide their faces and shit. I'm like, yeah, see. But she's being accountable. You know, she's stepping into this get down, man, because she knows she's responsible just as much as anybody else. That's all work. And this is how we get to where we're going to be in a position to say, okay, now we can start to dictate our own lives. We can start to create for us independence. Where there's a will, there's a way, you know? So, yeah, we got work to do, bro. I don't doubt it 1 minute. I don't doubt it for a minute. Yahshua Joshua. Any interviews lined up? Yeah, I wanted to do something this weekend. But my schedule tomorrow, I'm more than likely I'll be in LA at a function. And Sunday, well, I got a very important phone call Sunday morning. That's what I do know I have. And I don't know what's going to transpire as a result of this phone call. I may have to, you know, put in some work, you know, make a few stops or whatnot. I wanted to have Yacinda. We talked about it because she's going to come back and we want to address sisters now, you know, because I have some questions and concerns, you know, and I'm only going to feel right in principle by having a sister with me so I can discuss this with a sister, you know. So anyway, I did get a couple of calls from somebody, man, and you know, I'm gonna put it to you like this, man, and you know, I was saying this to a loved one just recently. Sometimes we have loved ones who they're convinced they want to come on and get down, you know, and I'm not in doubt that they're convinced they want to come get on and get down, but what for? What are you gonna talk about? You know, what have you been doing? What can you share with the people, man? Because I don't want to hear all that. I don't, hey, no, none of that. None of that. Especially if it's not beneficial, especially if it's not positive, productive, if it doesn't help the youth, the people. You know, let them respect you, but no. Come on and get down, man. There got to be a purpose. What are we going to discuss, man? What can you impart to the people? You know? The loved one, you know, he assured me, hey, man, I know this, that, and the third. So, yeah, all right. But I'm not quite convinced. You know what I mean? I was telling somebody the other day, yesterday, I've denied interviews with people because I don't want to seem disrespectful. You know what I mean? Because I'm type of dude, hey, if you're up here in this yin yang is frivol, hey man, okay, now I gotta, you know, I'm not gonna attack you, but I gotta let you know you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have that, you know, hey man, you know, because the people deserve better than me, man. And I'm telling you, I strive all the time to just try in an attempt to be better, to bring something to the table, man. Them jewels, man, in the gym, dropping y'all, pick them up, man, and then invite people in the RGC and even do the same thing, drop these jewels, these gems, so that when we part, we're leaving with something. We're a little richer, man. We're a little richer spiritually, mentally. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I on purpose, I don't I'm not in a hurry, to bring just anybody, And in fact, I have a list of guys I would love to bring on the show, but they still caught up in the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I bring them on the show. I'll point the camera another way. You ain't got to see under the groove on the wall. We ain't got to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? I got big enough space. You need shit. You wouldn't even know you was in there. But they're not ready. And the sad part about these individuals is that they don't even realize, man, the benefit they are to the people. The benefit that they are to the people. They can lead the people, man. But they doing shit that's just ass backwards. I would love to get them brothers on there. Hey, man, what's happening? For real, man, what the fuck is wrong, man? I would like to ask them some shit. I got questions, but in time, homie, I think that everything happens for a reason, man. I trust that. I promise you, I trust that. Now, that being said, everything happens for a reason. It's then my job to figure out what that is, and for the most part, I do, I do. And there's been times I've struggled with, why the hell did that happen? But, everything happens for a reason, man. And I understand why it is right now the way it is. Patience, man. I'm good. I understand, man, that there are powers at work. I ain't trying to explain that. You know what I mean? But yeah, here we are, man. In spite of, here we are. It's all good. When they happen, y'all gonna be the first to know. Real spit, man. Y'all gonna be the first to know. Appreciate that though. I'm gonna call you Yo, man. Yoza. Yeah. Yozan Joshua. All right. Yeah, man, that's what it is. All right. Mado. He said, man, once we lead with love, others will follow. And this is what we've been, this is what we say here, man. But see, the thing, you're spot on. We have to understand one thing first, though. We got to love ourselves first, man. We got to be at the point or the position, the frame of mind where we forgive ourselves for a lot of shit that we hold against ourselves internally, so that we can get to that point where we loving ourselves. When that occurs, man, we're going to love each and every one of us as we should. That's what I think. When we reach that point, hey, man, look, prophecy, man, is, will be in full effect. All our detractors, all our haters will submit. And again, I don't think we them type of people. We don't want nobody bowing to us. We understand that shit. That ain't nothing nice to us, man. Kneeling and bowing to people. No, I don't think we're not wired like that. You know what I mean? That's another thing. They don't really know us, man. One thing I do know, each and every one of us knows internally the fucking truth, man. What's up and what we supposed to be doing. A lot of us are in denial. A lot of us are resisting. And that's because of that indoctrination, man, that conditioning, But I'm pretty sure those struggles continue internally in a lot of us, And I'm testifying, that's been my struggle, What they call it, the I and I, It's a beautiful thing, though. We're gonna reach that point. That's part of the prophecy. So we're gonna get there. I ain't tripping. We shouldn't even worry about it. What we're supposed to be doing, man, is like I said, man, first and foremost, get to that position, that point in our lives where we love ourselves. We appreciate ourselves. We're not measuring and weighing ourselves based on what we got. You know, again, there's nothing wrong with having nice things, but that should not be how we define ourselves. We should define ourselves based upon what's in us, you know, who we are spiritually, man, you know, how we are in terms of our character, you know, our demeanor, our principles, all that shit, you know, that's what we got to get back to. But when that happened, man, yeah, love is abound, man. Brothers and sisters, you know, we win. We win. And we won the good fight. We're gonna win the good fight, you know. So shit. Appreciate that, Modo, man. And you already know this is Under the Groove Podcast. You are touching bases with the people, man, that come in and drop that like that. Appreciate you for being here, bro. Peace and prosperity to you and your fam, man. Hope you come back. We'll be back Monday. We go from Monday to Friday, 6:15, 8:15, 8:30, you know. Lately, I've been staying a little late. Dinner be cold and shit, but yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. But I appreciate you again, bro. All right, Poke. He said, man, got too much love and respect to you, bud. Focus on the focus. I hear you, bro. Desmond said, man, you took the words right out of my mouth. Dad. Hey, Mado. I got it, though. Yeah. You said it's time the shift is happening. We were saying earlier, it's happening right now. But I don't think we're really, as a people, assigning it to what the real energy is. You know what I mean? You know? You know, I think that's part of the get down in terms of, I mean, it's huge. What's going on, what our people are involved in is huge. But I don't think they are associating it with what's encoded. You know what I mean? What the prophecy is. This is the spark. When they say we're waking up now and it's at the right time, you know? So I hear you loud and clear. It is time. The shift it has begun as much as it is happening, man. Paradigm, y'all. Damn it, say, man, I just spoke out loud, OG. But for sure, man, definitely gotta have love for our people. Be one first word. Yep. Be one first, y'all. Black first. Raymond Skull said us blacks set the tone for how things really go. But if we remain divided, our influence to their society won't be taken seriously. And then there's the importance of the necessity for us to not be bull jiving around. Real spit. Real spit, man. And again, you know, anything we do is gold to them, you know. But in this respect, it'd be that you know, they're gonna follow, man. You know, and they're gonna learn, you know. It ain't gonna be by force, you know. They're gonna learn though. Another renaissance, man. That's what they say. This one prophecy, though, man. This the one. A real sister. All right. How you doing, Queen? She says, shalom, shalom, family. Pray all is well. Feel a need to share this. We are a special, holy, and chosen people above all people. Deuteronomy 28, verse 6 and 7. We are the lost sheep of Israel, and all that found us have devoured us, and they say they offend us not. They know we have sinned against Yah. I think that would be Jeremiah 56 and 7. Praise Yah. All right, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Mado said, yeah, don't dilute the channel with negativity. Can't happen, bro. Can't happen. I'm stay the course, man. I understand why I'm doing this. I tell you, I try to I try to not tell the story as much as I want to in terms of under the groove, you know. But it need to be told, and it will be told. One day we just chop it up about it. But yeah, this thing, man, it's for the people, man. Period, point blank. You know, came into it. You know, a lot of loved ones say, "Oh, we got a Hoover channel now." You know, yeah, man. But the brothers, man, the brothers and the sisters, man, we in a bad way. You know, let's lead. You know, but this is a different era, different time. A lot don't see fit to want to lead or be, you know, about some good shit, some positivity, man. You know, everything out there is wrong. It's all negative, man. But, you know, here we are in spite of it, man. Here we are in spite of it. And I tell you, this social media shit is crazy. And it's so full of negativity that it's sad. You see these brothers every day turning on each other, man. Just, the shit is just, I think it's just sad shit, man. And these are grown ass men with families. Some example, man. What an example. Smoke said, man, I realize that I'm older than 16,016,000 years old. Through the God gene, one day is 1,000 years. We have to realize that we were created by gods in their image and likeness. All right. All right. Yo, Soldier Denise, love that one. Yeah. And I say it often enough, though, Smoke, Soldier. I say it often enough. Again, I'm not religious, but I trust that this ain't no science fiction where, you know, some shit just came up out the dirt and you know. This is a unique design. This is a superior design, you know. This ain't by mistake, you know what I mean? We got the God gene. Let me put it like that. I'm used to saying that. We have the God gene. We're the only ones with the God gene. So that says enough for me. I don't need to look at it no other way. You know what I mean? I just don't. You know, I accept that I have the God gene. You know, I'm one of millions of us who have the God gene. So I'm good with that shit. Appreciate that, Smoke. Fat Rat, what it do, loved one? You say peace to you and RGC Big Bub, tardy to the party, bro. Hey, man, you know, better late than never, right? Better late than never, homie. We've had a good time so far, too. We've had a good time. Soldier said, Smoke, this is true. Our DNA is royal blood, and we have been programmed to think otherwise. Thank you for sharing this truth. Real spit. The truth is, it comes in a lot of forms, some in scripture, you know, some handed down, man, you know, just, you know, I don't know. That's amazing through time, you know, some, you know, it's triggered within our DNA. Yeah, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah. We have the God gene. That's all I can say. Desmond said, yeah, I can't front. Some of these become a distraction. Instead of getting it together to be help to the people. On the flip side, Bub, yourself, OG Bam, and other elders are setting the pace. That's who I would like to come, though. I know Bam will come. Matter of fact, I want to chop it up with Bam, man. You know, that's some real shit, man. I love to hear what Bam got to say. You know, I love to see how that would jive with the get down, you know, with the people, man. Okay, you had a little more to that, Desmond. Hold on. Okay, so you say, again, I'll read that again. Yeah, I can't front. Some of them become a distraction. Instead of getting it together to be help to the people. On the flip side, Bub, yourself, OG Bam, and other elders are setting the pace for change with our people. Yeah, man. It means a great deal, bro. I had to tell my brother today, he went to a graduation for my nephew, his grandson, and trouble will find you. That's just the way it is, right? Some of us want to call it the devil, you be testing, whatever. But he told me, he let me know the situation. I said, man, it's time to go. Just leave. I'm in traffic, but my mind said head that way because I don't know what's going to transpire. He said, I said, man, just go, bro. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Take that step. Be the bigger man. Just, go. He said, all right, And so, I waited. I didn't hang up. Like, are you gone? You gonna go? He's damn, bro. I said, man, just do this. We'll be better for it. Don't worry about it. And he left. And I appreciated that he did, because, we're dealing with a lot of ignorance. We're dealing with a lot of shit, man, in our communities where a lot of individuals have trained themselves to believe that they don't care, and a lot of them would do shit where they put people in lives in jeopardy, man, over bullshit, So we have this, man, in our community where a lot of our brothers, man, don't want to change. A lot of them act out. I was told today about some situation in Long Beach where just, our youth were just being damn fools in the streets. The sisters on top of cars twerking, and these are school kids, man. I ain't gonna lie. Back in our day, we have a little more dignity. I ain't gonna lie. We had some dignity about ourselves, man. It was time to go. It was time to go. The police got in line. We weren't scared of them. Let's go. But we had dignity about ourselves, man. That's what they lack in some of them. Crazy shit. Soldiers say, man, we have in us a code that lay dormant until now. We have been, for lack of a better word, activated. Yeah. Our rise is inevitable. And this is why we must teach the children ourselves. All right. Appreciate that. Raymond said, man, could this paradigm shift be the reason we're dealing with all of this hate? They're fighting against that energy due to their fear of Black domination. I said this hour ago, Raymond Skull, that what they call fear and racism and all that. That what they call hate and all this racism, all that ain't nothing but fear, bro. That ain't nothing but fear of us. And I'm telling you, I think in their minds, their battle is to stop us from ascending, from rising to where we're supposed to be, because the fear in them says, or it tells them, they're going to get us back for this. Again, they don't know us, We had that discussion before, you and I and a few of us brothers, where we talked about, okay, when the shift change, when it takes place, are we going to be vindictive? Are we going to do retaliatory things, Are we going to be vengeful? And I said, man, be honest. Yeah, I get that part, right? There, and that's what I mean too sometimes about the struggle within. Because it was like, yeah, man, these need an issue. Well, we won't, right? That's what I was thinking. But at the same time, internally, I was saying, it was being said to me, man, that don't make no difference no more. We ain't got to do shit to them. The fact that we have ascended would be punishment enough. Because then they'll be trying to figure out how to, in their minds, how do they appease us? How do you can, there's no need to think you need to appease us. We've reached our pinnacle. We're where we're supposed to be. You can't appease us now, you know, and then we're not, you know, I don't think I said this, we're wired different. I don't think we'll be in that mindset or in that spirit where we want to do something to y'all for all this shit. It's just, you know, that we've reached where we're supposed to be. If you want to call it punishment, then that's punishment enough. That's how I see it. You know. Yeah. So Raymond Skull again said, could this paradigm shift be the reason we're dealing with all of this hate? They're fighting against that energy due to their fear of black domination. Yeah, it's the fear, bro. It's the fear, and it's always been that. They just label it different. They call it hate, racism. It's fear, you know. Queen Nzinga says, black people, man, we possess the God gene, rich in resilience, creativity, and spiritual strength that has helped our people overcome tremendous challenges throughout history. Ain't nobody like us. Facts. Facts. That fear could be because they are jealous and envious. You guys look at it like that because I don't know, man. Look, they want to do anything we do. They hate us. Make that make sense. That don't make sense to me. It just don't make sense to me. When I was in my mind, or you know, in that stage of hate for the Wayupi, right? Never want to desire or be them. You know, I don't like doing the shit I know I gotta do because they set that shit up like that. I hate the shit, you know. But no, no, man. I don't want to assimilate. I don't want to assimilate to them. I don't want to do nothing they do. I don't think that anything they do is the shit. You know? So it boggles the mind when they hate us to death. Literally. And yet, they mimic everything we do. Everything. Cool thing, y'all. Appreciate that, Queen Nzinga. Yeah. Henry, shout out to Brother Bam, man. I got to give Bam a call, see how you doing, man. I got to call Big H as well, man. I would like to tap in with the brothers and see if we can't bring some, bring it together, man, again this year. And then carry it from that point on, continue. We're in that time, y'all. It is happening right now. Soldier Denise says, wait, hold on. Desmond said, big facts, family. We are the chosen. We are a royal priesthood of Most High. This is why we are hated by all these other people. They hate us, but want to be us. Man, they want our anointing. You know, our blessing. You know. Soldier Denise says, a real sister. All right, you better teach. We are a royal people who, because of our disobedience, has suffered. But we have paid our ancestors' debt, and this is our time. Peace be upon you, Queen. Appreciate reading that, Soldier. Desmond says, salute, sister, big facts. This is our time. We need to seek the Most High Yah more than ever now. Coogee 7-4 said, man, Groove, we need the history in the 4359 and lay lows. Yeah, that's not going to happen, bro. We already did that. We passed that mark, respectfully. Don't no longer even deal with all that, But peace anyway, loved one. We need to get to this thing, man, where we doing what we supposed to be doing in terms of coming together, unifying. That's what we need to be on, homie. Trying to figure out, man, how to make our lives better, man, and not just for us ourselves, but our children who's coming up behind us. Teaching them, gang history doesn't really serve a purpose. It doesn't really serve a purpose. you know, and this platform to pass that stage, you know, respectfully, homie, you know, respectfully. All right, a real sister said Deuteronomy 28 tells our story, the blessings and curses, life or death. We have a choice, and we have a choice and will be held accountable for our choice. For our choice we make. We must seek Yah, our creator. Hallelujah. All right. That right said, man, organized hate defeats disorganized love every time. Organized hate defeats disorganized love every time. When we be talking, man, we say, man, we have to understand what that love is really about. And I'm telling you, man, for the most part, if we ain't understanding it internally, that we don't have it for ourselves to the point where we know how to love ourselves. When you love thyself, that love is transmuted. It spills over to your brother and sister, and there becomes this, you know, this connection, this bond. It can't be severed, you know, can't be defeated. Hate can't touch it. Don't want to come near it. Recognize defeat if it comes anywhere near it. In order to have that, in order to beat and organize hate, we have to organize our love for each other, ourselves first. When we do it for self, man, we got it. We got it. We have to be able to love ourselves, man, first. That's what I think, you know. That book is famous for a reason. Know thyself. You read that book, you get it. Appreciate that, Fat Rat. Always a gym. Okay. Fat Rat said, man, the goal is separation. After 467 years of our sojourn under Whitey rule, they have proven that they cannot be just. So our covenant with them is broken. All right. Yeah. Knowledgeable, educational, wise. Man, they say black people are not educated. They say black people are lazy. Black people haven't contributed nothing to society. Black people ain't made nothing, ain't did nothing. Black people were only slaves. Black people are lazy. Black people don't want to work. You know? They say a whole lot of shit about us, man. Ain't true, man. Whole lot of shit. A real sister said, man, we are the originators. Everyone else are the imitators. Everyone knows who we are, all right? Except us. Well, that almost sounds like me talking right there. Appreciate that. She said, we must turn back to Yah, all right? Everybody know. It's like, yeah, man, in some respects, in some instances, it seemed like we're the only one didn't get the memo. Some of us didn't get the damn memo. And then again, I say that was some superb indoctrinating, though. You know, expert class indoctrination and conditioning and brainwashing. You know, you have to say, oh shit, you know, that was some powerful shit they did. That was some, hey man, that was some crazy work, man. Right? Because even now, 2026, we don't realize, a lot of us still don't realize it. And I think really all we need, any of us, is just to smidge it, just to ignite, you know, to create that spark, to activate, you know, with that, man, that spark getting ignited, that activation turning on, the dial just go to one, man, before you know it, it moved up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know what I mean? But it's, again, some of our people, no, man, just are not interested. They seem to be too far gone. And I imagine this is why I hear a lot of our people say, man, forget them. We got to go save the kids. Man, And I struggle against agreeing with that, you know? I struggle against that, man. Smoke said, man, I blame the music that's created by rap, CIA agents who helped the demonic industry plot to manipulate the young impressionable thoughts of our future generation to look like terrorists on mainstream media. Yeah, they fuck with the music, no doubt. And everybody know it, just the frequency of it is all, it's all bad. You know, it is bad. Man, I'm telling you, this shit almost makes me sick at the stomach, man. It's bad. Chris say, this is our time. We need to rise to the occasion. And real sister, she's praising you though, soldier. She said, praise Yah. Well, she giving you props. She said, praise Yah. All right. All right, Coogee. Appreciate that, bro. You know, you know, more than welcome here anytime, man. Anytime. You know, come hang out, man. Tell us what you think about all this shit going on. Like I say, it's crazy work. I know you know it. It's crazy work. Donald Davis says, facts, man. Henry said, man, there was a champion pit bull who was considered a cure buster in the fighting competition game. And he was winning by fear with his tail tucked and whooping ass. Well, ain't gonna do that, does. That's for damn sure. Yeah, man. He was winning by fear. They've been winning by fear with their tails tucked. Man, there was a champion pit bull who was considered a cure buster in the fighting competition game, and he was winning by fear with his tail tucked and whooping ass. He was a documented champion pit bull. Donald, yeah, I'm thinking about something else. When you mentioned that, my mind went to something else, Henry, but I hear you. Donald Davis says, self-love is the best love. That's the only love, man, that should matter in the initial. I'm telling you, that's the love that's gonna matter. That's gonna touch everything else, man. Queen Nzinga said, man, organize. Okay, organized hate can be defeated when people unite with purpose, compassion, and commitment. Love becomes a force stronger than division. There you go. Donald said, man, as black people are smart, but we just smart in our own way. Soldier says, man, Queen Nzinga, man, and that is what I try and help my babies to understand. Our greatness is genetic. That is why they hate us. Their lack of respect for us is because they know who we are, but we don't. Again, that's where that fear comes. They fear us. They fear knowing they know more than us about us, man. Damn, that's a fact. All right. Everybody else seemed to have gotten the memo but us, huh? Donald Davis said, man, if we come together as one, we will be better off in life. We would change life as everyone know it. You know, that's what I tend to think. We would change life like everybody know it. You know what I mean? Like it would be like, whoa, shit, you know? Like never seen before. It'd be unlike anything we've ever could have imagined, I think, actually. Yeah. Real sister says, I lived my life proving those myths about us as a people are lies to keep us down. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I lived my life proving those myths about us as a people are lies to keep us down and prove them wrong. Praise Yah. And now, hold on, soldier. Okay, there you go. I'll read it again. All right. Queen Nzinga, and that is what I try and help my babies to understand. Our greatness is genetic. That is why they hate us. Their lack of respect for us is because they know who we are, but we don't. And now that we do, we must combat 500 years of the Willie Lynch programming. But we got this, y'all. We got this. All right. Yeah, that music is crazy, man. Especially that drill music. It's manic music. Yeah. The music is a problem, and it ain't out there by mistake, man. It's funny how ain't it a trip on how hip hop and rap just changed. It seems like almost overnight, and they start putting out all this different music, and our young brothers started drinking cough syrup, and all kind of other weird shit was taking place, man, with our brothers. They started wearing skinny jeans, and just a whole lot of shit, man, started taking place, and I was like, oh shit, something was really happening, man, and we missed it, but hey. All right. So yeah. Soldier said, man, we're coming together, but we must learn to exert our own spiritual power. Christ in me does those things through me. Yahushua's power, Yahweh. James said, what's up, bud? What it do, CPT? All right, bro. Peace and prosperity. Good to see you. It's late, y'all. Oh, shit. And it's Friday. All right. I ain't mad at you. Fat Rat say, bub, check out that S4 movie. Oh, yeah. Oh, got you. You talking about the alien one? The Bob Lazarus story. It goes with that 1942 battle in the sky, LA. Battle in the sky, LA. Battle in the LA sky, whatever. Got you. S4. Check out that S4 movie. Make sure I understand what the hell the S4 is, Fat Rat, so I don't mess up, man. Be looking for something ain't there. All right, facts. Queen Nzinga. United we stand, divided we fall. Rise up. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. Oh, that was a continue on yours, soldier. I'm sorry. We are coming together, but we must learn to exert our own spiritual power. Christ in me does those things through me. Yahushua's power, Yahweh. Yahweh's power in us is real. And I finally realized that all I have to do is surrender and obey. I think you're saying obey. All right. Donald said, man, bub, music ain't music no more these days, bro. Yeah, I'm telling you, homie. Ain't it funny, right? I can go to that music from back, our parents' era. I can even go back to the early 60s with some of them oldies, man, and be like, damn, this was fire. You know what I mean? Just the melody and the vibe, the vibration of the shit be like, whoa. I go to, late 60s and all the way to the mid 70s, 78 and some of this music, and I'm gone, man. I'm like wide open, man. Like, be on some like, hey, man, ain't nothing fuck with my groove. I'm all right, And I'm telling you, as soon as I hear some of this other shit, my body, it's like just, hey, man, it's not even like a shock. It's like it fucks with my nerves or something. Like, what the fuck is that? Then it makes my stomach hurt. I'm like, hey, man, I do not like that shit. I promise you. In no sense of the word, I don't like it. But again, man, that was the plan, though. They are some mad scientists. All right. Farrah said, man, a non-scientific approach is strategic suicide. No religion or belief system done without a scientific basis will get us anything in this hour but whooped. Read that again. A non-scientific approach is strategic suicide. No religion or belief system done without a scientific basis will get us anything in this hour but whooped. All right. Queen and Ziggy said, man, y'all have a good weekend, loved ones. Stay safe, stay encouraged, and enjoy the gift of today. Be one, black first. And I'm going to second that, everybody. It is time. It is time. All right. We're going to make sure that, you know, we leave here, man, in the same spirit we came, man. Spirit of love. All right. Love yourself, y'all. Love yourself so that we can do what we need to do when it comes to our people. We'll know to love them because it exists in us, it's in us. Take care of yourself so we'll know how to take care of one another in the time of need, you know. And it may not always be in that sense where, you know, it's detrimental or it's, you know, it's traumatic or something. Need could be a lot of things. A lot of things can be attached to it, and they're not all negative. All right. So just keep that in mind, man. You have Saturday, you have the rest of tonight, Saturday and Sunday. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. Powers in the people. Take care of yourselves so that you can do the good work of taking care of your brothers and your sisters. All right. On that note, power is in the people. You guys have a good night. See you on the next one. You are, you have been, and you will be under the groove, people. One love.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hurston, writing future history. From the Apollo to the Borough to the Sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transform suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant is once a less than actors, hazards, and mistakes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive, watch you the appeals for polls. Need your data, tropes, and constantly problem when the wedges want to build the season bait. Now don't get the pause. It's just erasing up the cons. Plead the markets off the main. Make it on the fans. Turn the neck and love the dirt. Suffers like a kesha. You been grown to preaching up on side as each alone. Bitch on the shit and untrue seeing vets. Someone that buried in from Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the Bonavir. You wait something for the marker, make the keep them full the club and saw the boards to the single land is carried open slowly. Keep us looking on my mother, break it, generosity, more than he and let the blizzard be. It's every time we keep a spawn.